Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Well, staff in Tasmanian emergency departments live in fear of being sued due to dire conditions hampering patient care. That's according to the Royal Hobart's ED Director, fronting the ambulance ramping inquiry today. Paul Scott complaining a dozen reviews in 15 years hasn't improved the situation.
Launceston, for example, has patients in corridors for greater than 24 hours. They've accessed an old cupboard and removed the shelves and have patients in cupboard. They've used airlock areas.
I don't know what this Liberal government's been doing for the last 10 years when it comes to the health system. And I don't know how Health Minister Guy Barnett sleeps at night.
And part of the solution is more hospital beds. Doctors say 2 beds added to the Launceston General Hospital's coronary ward is a small but important step forward.
From angiograms to the installation of stents and pacemakers, there's life-saving work happening in the coronary care unit. Launceston's expanding from 6 to 8 beds with the staff and equipment needed to keep it running.
Even though there's only 2 beds, but it will make a huge difference to the quality of care and the timeliness of the care provided.
But doctors say more is needed.
Where is my laundry list? We need more doctors, we need more nurses, we need a second cath lab. We urgently need a second cath lab. We need to expand our coronary care unit. We need to have a separate cardiology ward.
We know there's more to do. Healthcare is a top priority, and that's why we're spending record funds into health every year.
Our hospitals have also welcomed 80 first-year doctors to the ranks, including Beauty Point's Jess Horton, choosing to serve her own community.
It's been really full-on, but really rewarding. It's a large system to learn how to work in, but my team has been really supportive.
What Tasmania really needs, though, is more general practitioners, and a proposal to offer to pay off their HECS debt if they move to the state might be the ticket to attract them here.
A $100,000 debt when you're at a stage where you're looking to buy a home is significant. And Tasmania's a great place to live.
Tasmania spends $8 million a day on health. An investment of $4 million over 5 years could attract up to 40 young doctors into communities. Guy Barnett now considering the proposal, despite GPs being a federal responsibility.
We think that it's just wrong for us to do nothing and blame the feds.
Nick Kelly, 7 Tasmania News.
Harrowing, shocking and devastating. That's how the independent reviewer of an investigation into former police officer Paul Reynolds has described accounts of child sexual abuse that she's heard. As part of her initial findings, Regina Weiss says Reynolds used his position in local sport and community to groom his victims. He died by suicide while under investigation for multiple offences in 2018. The final report will be handed to the Police Commissioner in June. Tasmania has some of the worst youth detention assault rates in the country. The government now under fire for its failing correctional system and lack of transparency about what's going on behind closed doors.
Making news for all the wrong reasons. Ashley Youth Detention Centre in northern Tasmania, a sore point in the Productivity Commission's 2024 report on government services. Assault rates exceeding all other states, bar the Northern Territory.
Young people have sought advocacy on 83 occasions in relation to the excessive use of force or assaults relating to both young people in detention and staff.
The problem pinned on a chronic lack of staff.
There have been years of under-resourcing across child safety and child services across Tasmania. And after 10 years, it's high time that this government did something about it.
Still waiting for a closure date, the troubled facility not the only red flag. Other data, including the time Child Protection Services take to respond to an investigation, surprisingly excluded from the report.
Our system is slightly different to every other system in Australia. Now that, in my mind, is not a reason to reduce the transparency of the system.
We don't understand why the government didn't provide the figures. The only conclusion we can reach is that they were too ashamed of how poor they were, even in the light of the Commission of Inquiry.
But the government says it has nothing to hide.
The recent data does, at least to some degree, includes Tasmania, and youth justice is included in that data.
It's time and money being invested in plans for a new youth justice centre in the south.
Work is already underway to ensure that our young Tasmanians who are in the justice system get the support and care that they need.
Brianna Boylan, 7 Tasmania News.
A Lindisfarne couple or local is calling on the community to help her raise $7,000 to help a refugee family move to Tasmania. Jessie and her team ran 100 kilometres over 14 hours on Sunday with a goal of raising $20,000. The money will be given to the UN Council for Refugees to facilitate the move.
Essentially, they look at a family that's high risk or in high need. Once we've got the money selected, paired with the family, they'll come to Hobart.
Funds will also assist with short-term accommodation and employment for the chosen family. A donation page has been set up online. Royal fever is still sweeping Tasmania more than a week after our Mary became Queen of Denmark. Local businesses are sipping the success of the recent proclamation as more regal products fly off the shelf.
A royal brew fit for our very own Queen. Your tea shop unveiling its newest regal batch.
I have our brand new tea, the latest acquisition, Queen Mary.
As soon as news broke, the former Miss Mary Donaldson from Hobart will be named the next Queen of Denmark, the phone lines ran hot. Loyal customers eager to know when a piece of Mary will be filling their cups.
I was inundated with people, have you got tea, Queen Mary tea? And of course we didn't.
Quickly filling shelves to meet demand, the precious tea leaves are flying off them just as fast.
I have sold nearly 50 boxes of this, much to our surprise.
This latest blend isn't the first royal tea line to be served at the Launceston business, nor is it an entirely new recipe.
And this is a recipe that was drunk by the late Queen Elizabeth II's grandmother.
It may be steeped in tradition, but it's already predicted to outsell other brews on offer as more customers add some regal flair to their tea time.
There's something very special about sitting around, having a cup of tea with a sandwich, some home-baked goodies, and some good old-fashioned chit-chat with a bit of gossip thrown in.
A special tea which could soon be given the royal tick of approval, with plans well underway to send Queen Mary her very own personal box. Victoria Easto, 7 Tasmania News.
An iconic Tassie brand is offering a dozen different community groups $1,000 each. The grant program coming during a tough time for many sporting clubs.
A tasty initiative offering small community groups a much-needed slice of a $12,000 pie.
We're just really excited to be able to help some people along that maybe miss out in terms of bigger opportunities or they're not big enough.
The National Pies for Local Heroes program launched today at Hobart's waterfront, offering a different community organisation $1,000 every month. Something the Carlton Park Surf Lifesaving Club says will go a long way.
Additional club equipment, and there may be some families who can't afford to buy the equipment that they need for their sport.
It comes as cost of living pressures make their way down to groups who largely rely on volunteers and families for support.
For any sporting club in Tasmania or around Australia really, that money's sort of hard to come by, and some clubs are sort of go really year to year financially, but an injection of cash of any sort is important.
Any group from quilting to football can apply to be part of the program via the Tasmanian Bakeries website.
We're not sort of presenting ourselves as this big corporate that, you know, we can solve everything, but a little bit of helping hand along the way, it can actually just go a long way.
Ruby Cairns, 7 Tasmania News.
The Tigers Intellectual Disability Squad has jumped to the lead at the National Inclusion Carnival, taking an easy win over New South Wales in Brisbane today. Bailey Menzies and Craig Blaschke taking 3 wickets apiece to end the Blues' chase 37 runs short. Meanwhile, Tasmania's second 11 is poised to take control of their test for the ACT, trailing by just 1 run at stumps on day 2 with 8 wickets in hand. The Western United coach John Aloisi is bringing powerhouse Daniel Pena to Hobart for their clash with the Wanderers on Saturday. The Brazilian's making an impact in his first season down under, coming off a double in their 3-all draw with MacArthur.
Daniel came from a long-term injury, had an ACL injury, hadn't played for a year, coming into a new environment, new team, and he's showing, you know, each game he's getting better and better.
My first game in Tasmania, and hopefully we'll have
a lot of supports there. Hopefully I can score again and celebrate with the fans. That could be perfect.
Pena is on a one-year loan from Atletico Mineiro.
Good evening. Hobart and Burnie 18 degrees today. Launceston registered 20 and Devonport recorded 19. Strawn and King Island our high with 21 degrees. Flinders Island and Smithton 20. Low Head, St Helens and Friendly Beaches 19 and Lyawini a top of 12. Some rain did sweep over last night with light scattered showers again today, all due to the low cloud that gathered over Tasmania. An onshore flow produced cloud along the east coast of New South Wales and Queensland. A large low has cloud spiralling over the Pilbara and monsoonal activity drives the cloud through the tropics. Tomorrow a trough passes over Tasmania with high pressure over the Tasman Sea. Not much high pressure anywhere else with all the troughs, lows and potential cyclone activity on the map. Northeasterly winds at 20 to 30 knots shifting westerly over the north and west tomorrow morning. Winds to 20 knots over the inland lakes. We do have a strong wind warning. That's from Low Rocky Point clockwise around the state to southeast Cape. Hobart tomorrow 25 with a shower or two, 26 for Geeston, maybe a shower for Bothwell and 27 degrees. Launceston 29 with a shower or two, 26 for Devonport, shower for Cressy as well and 29. Burnie 25, a morning shower, a little bit of wet weather for Strawn, 24 the top and 22 for Curry. And for St Helens 29, a shower or two clearing, same for Swansea but 27 there and 27 for Orford. Mostly fine on Thursday apart from a shower over the west, winds becoming fresh and gusty. On Australia Day a mostly fine, partly cloudy 24 in St Helens, but the rest of us are expecting a windy showery day. And on Saturday once again fine over the east with showers more frequent over the west and far south. Sunny in Perth, partly cloudy and 31 in Adelaide, a possible shower heading over Melbourne tomorrow. A sunny 31 in Sydney, fine and partly cloudy in Brisbane. Bit of cloud around here too. Hobart 18, 20 in Launceston, 18 right now in Devonport. Forecast not looking good for the Australia Day barbecue, Kim. Maybe some soggy sausages. Maybe we should just concentrate on the damper.
Oh, good work. Well, finally tonight, a local fisherman has captured the spectacular moment a pod of orcas was spotted swimming off Tasmania's northwest coast. Killer Whales Australia says the creatures often visit the state but typically stick to the east and southeast coasts. A special sighting with orcas unlikely to stay in an area longer than a few hours. That wraps up tonight's bulletin. Thanks for your company tonight. Good night, everyone.